Alright, hello everyone, it's Happy, and today we're going to be breaking down a statement made by Droodles on the screen here.
Honest truth when it comes to tier 10 tank destroyers, and here it is: tank destroyers do not win compared to heavy tanks, lights, or mediums. And it's down to one simple fact. You as a tank destroyer, it doesn't matter if you're in an Object 268 version 4 with ridiculous armor, still rely on teammates. And relying on teammates in Blitz, oof, yeah, that's a pretty risky thing to do, isn't it? And that is why winning in any tank destroyer is a lot harder than it is in any other class. The only
So, as you can see here, he says it's very, very hard to win in tank destroyers compared to other classes. Well, firstly, I want to make a few remarks. Firstly, Droodles shows his statistics. So he played 100 games, and he supports his claim by saying, for example, I have 71% win rates on the Object 268 version 4 compared to other tanks in my 30-day Blitz star stats, and therefore, tank destroyers do not perform as well. Well, this could simply be based on luck, because 100 games doesn't definitively really mean anything. Because you could have had a good session here and then 2 or 3 bad sessions in a row, for example, and therefore your stats may not be as good compared to other tanks. This can happen to anyone and any other tank. Second, Droodles may not just be good at tank destroyers. Maybe he's not as good of a player as he thinks he is on tank destroyers. For example, me, I'm a heavy player, and I'm not that good with mediums or lights, and therefore I would definitely say that mediums and lights are the weaker class compared to heavies. Maybe Droodles isn't that good with TDs, and therefore his win rate is lower. How about that? And thirdly, he said a lot in the comment section, at least in that particular video, that his video was based on, facts rather than opinion. And, well, if we pull up Blitz stars and we check the stats, let's remove all the premiums and collectibles because they're too low in number and they kind of screw up the win rate percentages. And we don't really have any strong, premium/collectible TDs apart from the Object 268 version 4, which only came out recently. So if I pull up the stats right here for you guys, we can see that at number 5, one of the highest win rate tanks is the E3. At obviously number 5, and at number 6 we have the Foch 155, and then we have the 263 a few spots below. So as you can see, we already have 3 TDs in the top 10 plus minus top 10. Obviously 263 is not, but the E3 and the Foch are definitely in the top 10, and the E3 is in the top 5 in regards to win rate in the tech tree tanks. If we look at the tech tree tanks, we have the Yo and the 60 TP Lewandowskiego, which are 2 very, very, very strong heavies. The T100 LT, which is another very, very strong light tank above it. So that makes complete sense. And then there's the Mouse, of course, the tank made for winning games. And then you have the E3. And then you have the E3 and the Foch 155. So as you can see there, the stats don't lie. One of the strongest tanks for win rate at tier 10 is the Foch and the E3. Even though I personally find them disgusting, they are still above average compared to the other tanks. Now, he says that they are team dependent. In what way would, for example, a Mouse not be team dependent? For example, if a light tank is running around and capturing points, the Mouse simply cannot get to him. This means the Mouse is also team dependent, for example. There are more or less tanks that are more team dependent than others. For example, we have the Death Star, which is going to be a lot more team dependent compared to, for example, an Object 268. You have a Grill, which is much more team dependent because it has no armor compared to, for example, a Foch. Similarly, if you're in a 1 versus 1 situation, in what way, shape, or form can, for example, a T62, for example, outplay a full HP IS-4? You know what I mean? Like a heavy tank versus a light tank or a medium tank in a 1 versus 1 scenario where the players have an equal skill base. the heavy tank will always win simply because it has more HP and has more alpha and more armor. Does this mean that mediums and light tanks are also team dependent? Of course, every single class in this game is team dependent, and therefore sometimes your team will screw up, and of course you're going to lose. But yes, in some aspects, Droodles is right. There are more TDs that are team dependent, but this doesn't necessarily mean that TDs are obviously going to lose more. If you play more or less frontline TDs like the E3, Foch, 268, 268 version 4, etc., etc., I'm sure your win rate is going to be fine. And again, for me, at least my win rate on the 268 version 4 is above average in tier 10. In terms of my tier 10 tanks. So, I don't know. This is a counter argument to Droodles' argument about his, tech tree object 2684. But tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section below. And with that, happy is out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.